Yes, Hare Krishna. Welcome back. So we had this very wonderful inauguration of Rajadi Raja Temple. Very beautiful inauguration happened because there were so many dignitaries that had come, and we had done very elaborate pujas for the installation of the deities. And there were devotees from different parts of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and also Andhra and Telangana. They have come from different places to do this worship and also this very beautiful inauguration of the main deities in the temple. So we had devotees coming from Kumbakonam, Melukote, and Kanchipuram. Today, the devotees have come. So nearby, we have this very old and ancient temple called Vasantavalavaraya Temple. So just to give you a brief history about this place. So although it is located in Bangalore city, but this is called Vasantavalavaraya Nagar right now. So there is a very ancient temple called Wasantavalavaraya, and this is a hillock. It's a very huge hillock, about 28 acres. We have acquired in the sense ISKCON has some 28 acres here. So this hillock, there is a cave, and in the cave, Mandavya Rishi has performed lot of tapasya here. Now, Mandavya Rishi, you must be aware that he is the one who was actually accidentally he was punished by a king, and later the king understood that it was a mistake, and still he had to undergo a lot of pain, Mandavya Rishi, because um, he had accidentally the king's soldiers thought that he was one amongst the robbers who had stolen something from the king. So then Mandav Rishi, because of his tapasya and a lot of austerities, he could travel anywhere. So when he actually traveled to Yamaloka, then he asked Yamaraja, why was I punished like this? There was a shula. Shula is a very painful punishment, Generally, there is a iron rod that is crossed through the
Spear.
rectum. No, spear, which is passed through the rectum. It's a very uh, painful thing. And when they actually, the soldiers, they removed it later on after the king apologized. Still, there was some part of the shula in his body, and he did tapasya like that for many, many years. And when he visited Yamaraja, and he asked Yamaraja that why was I punished like this? Why I had to go so much of pain? That is when Yamaraja said, when you were a small child, you actually use a blade of grass and you actually pierce a small insect. And that reaction, whether big or small, you have to get it in multifolds. That is how the laws of karma work. And then he asked, what was my age at that time? He was a very small child, and actually, uh, then Mandava Rishi says that as per the Shastras, until the age of 12, if a child commits any mistakes, sinful activities, it should be forgiven. The Shastras say. Then the Mandava Rishi said that it will be now increased to 14. So until the age of 14, if somebody commits any sinful activities, it will be still not considered. But then Mandavarishi said, because you have punished me, even when I did this as a child, then you actually have to undergo a lot of pain. You will get a reaction now because giving me the false pain, uh, then you will become a Shudra. That is how he was born as, Yamaraja was born as Vidura. So Mandavarishi has done a lot of tapasya in this cave here, in this hillock, and here he got the darshan of the Lord, and he was told that I will appear. The Lord appeared and told him that I will appear as Venkateshwara along with my consort Padmavati. So here, Vasanta Vallabharaya Temple, very ancient temple, they come every year. There is an annual program that happens in the cave here, and they perform a lot of pujas and everything. In fact, when I was here doing my service 10 years ago, I was once chanting on a Sunday morning, just like this. There were a lot of devotees, and there was one devotee, old, about 70 years old. He was looking at a big picture of the project, just like this we have behind. There was a big project picture that we had kept in the temple hall. Very small temple, it was just a hall, small hall, about 100 people can sit. That was the hall structure that time. So we had kept this picture, and this old man came and he was staring at this picture. Then I went close to him, and then this old man said, Swamiji, I'll tell you one thing. I said, say, please, what is that? 50 years ago, I was listening to one pravachana in the Vasantavalavaraya Temple, and there was one Swamiji called Sridhar Swami, something he mentioned like that, the name. He said in the pravachan that this hillock will become a Tirtha Sthala in the future. And we were wondering 50 years ago, how can this hillock become a Tirtha Sthala? All of a sudden, it's in the outskirts of Bangalore. How can this become a Tirtha Sthala? But now, when I see this project coming up, his words are coming true. So, this has already been inspired and contemplated by many great sages and devotees that this place will become a Tirtha Sthala. It's now almost like a Tirupati. Now, before the inauguration, we used to get some 100, 200 people, but now it is so much. There are so many people, especially now on the weekends. We hardly have any breathing space because so many people are coming. We have car parking and other issues and so many things. We officially opening at on August 1st for people, public, but there are so many people. It's just a replica of Tirupati. So a lot of activities. In fact, right now, as we are speaking, Sudha Murthy and his family has come. They have Gururaj Deshpande. He's sitting us with in the yagna today, and I just welcomed them, made all the arrangements, and I'm here today with all of you. I didn't want to miss this. So they will attend the yagna. They will have some meeting with our president and vice president. So they are going to have. They are very good supporters of Akshay Patra. So today they especially wanted to attend the yagna. So they are here today. So, this way, there are a lot of wonderful, miraculous things happening in this place. We see there are so much of Adam distribution, book distribution, and the beautiful lordships we have in the temple, especially Srinivasa, Rajadiraja Govinda. He's so magnificent, so tall, and we have Rajalakshmi Padmavati, then we have Sudarshan Narasimha, and we have Lakshmi Narasimha, and we also have a Shilamurti of Prabhupada. Like I had shared some images, Prabhupada's actual footwear was installed here, has been installed. So his personal presence is very much felt. His Paduka is here. So this is the first Shilamurti, the stone deity of Prabhupada in the whole world. So it's very, very special. It's the whole temple is a stone structure, actually. It's a stone temple. Then behind this existing temple, the Balaji temple that we have, we will have this Krishna Leela Park. So this is going to be the tallest structure in Bangalore city. So you can literally see the whole Bangalore from the top. We'll have the Sky Temple. So there will be a Radha Krishna temple on the top. So Vaikunta is here now, where the Srinivasa is there, and above Vaikunta we will have the Goloka Vrindavana, where Radha Krishna will be there. So it's a very, very massive structure. Here we'll have a lot of multimedia theaters, 4D, 5D, or 7D, whatever it is by then. So we'll have all these different technological things coming up so that we can portray our Vedic culture in a very modern way. That is our idea because nobody comes under a banyan tree for listening Bhagavad Gita class today, isn't it? So we should have all the new facilities made for the next generation to take up Krishna consciousness. And then there'll be a Vedic planetarium also. We want to depict the Vedic planetarium. So there'll be a lot of scientific stuff here coming up. So this will be the structure. There'll be a sky temple. Just show you. Yeah, I think this is better. So
It will be wonderful, Prabhuji. We have to visit it.
Yes. Anytime you come to Bangalore, please do visit. It is very, very special. It's going to be very nice. And a similar structure is also coming in Vrindavan. I think if Dev and Vinodji had visited, so they must have seen that we have Radha Vrindavan Chandrodaya Mandir, which is much taller than this. That is going to be the Vatican City of India. So very, very massive structure. People across the world will come. It is called Vrindavan Chandrodaya Mandir. So these two are mega projects for us right now, and this is really going very well now. A lot of devotees are coming, and we have a lot of people, celebrities coming in and having darshan of the Lord. Many other, local supporters of the temple have been regularly visiting. They are very appreciative of the temple. So we are ramping up our activities here very soon. So, with that brief history, so let us get into our Bhagavad Gita study. So, in the previous session, we had we had started chapter 9. And in chapter 9, we had covered the first verse. So, this chapter 9, it is called Rajaguya Yoga, or the most confidential knowledge. Prabhupada titles it as most confidential knowledge. Very, very special actually. And in this very first verse, the Lord had said that Sri Bhagavan Uvaja idam tu te guyyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave jnana vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshashe shubha. So, just a recap. So, anybody who is non-envious, anasuyave, this knowledge will be revealed to that person. So, Arjuna was anasuya, he was non-envious, and that is why he was given this most confidential knowledge. Guyyatamam. It is very, very confidential knowledge. Secret. That secret I'm going to share with you, Arjuna, because you are non-envious. So this is one of the qualification. If you want to receive knowledge, transcendental knowledge, we should become non-envious. And I also explained about the story, the pastime of how sometimes it appears that Arjuna was actually envious of Ekalavya. But then I told you that it was not actually envy against Ekalavya, but he didn't want the knowledge to be given to the wrong person. Ekalavya was a Kshatriya, but he was misdirected and he was always associating with the tribal people, and he had intentions to fight against Krishna. So that is why Arjuna could notice all these things, and that is why he says, Dronacharya, that you wanted to make me as the supreme archer in the whole world. How is that this person has become supreme? And that is how Eklavya was asked by Dronacharya to cut off his thumb. So this is how the knowledge was protected earlier. So it was not that Arjuna was envious of Eklavya. So now let us dive into the next second one. Second verse, it is very special. So Achyutanji, you can unmute yourself and let us chant the. But before that, let's all of us chant together the pranam. Let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON and our dear spiritual master. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Swate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। हरे कृष्ण. So, Achyutanji, you can unmute yourself. Let's chant the second verse of chapter 9. Very, very special verse.
Okay.
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam
Pavitram Idamuttamam
Pavitram Idamuttamam
Pratyakshavagaman Dharmyam
Pratyakshavagaman Dharyam
Susukham Kartumavyayam.
Susukham Kartum Avyayam
Once again, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam
Pavitram Idamuttamam
Pavitram Idamuttamam
Pratyakshavagaman Dharmyam
Pratyakshavagaman Dharyam
Susukham Kartumavyayam.
Susukham Kartum Avyayam.
Please read the translation.
This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of it is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So, such a wonderful thing here. Krishna is saying, Rajavidya. See, many times people think that Rajavidya here means some political science or administrative science. It's knowledge of the administration, knowledge of some political science. No, Rajavidya is not Rajniti Vidya. It is Rajavidya means it is the king of knowledge. There are so many departments of knowledge. There are many, many different sections and categories of knowledge that we see: chemistry, physics, mathematics. Today there are so many new coming up like electronics, and there are nanotechnology, biotechnology, what not. There are so many different varieties of knowledge that we actually see, isn't it? And in our philosophical understanding also, there are many great principal philosophers, especially in India. We have many darshanas, and each darshana means a kind of philosophy, a tattva philosophy, that is again based on the Vedas. Any darshana is actually based on the Vedas. There can be differences, like we have Gautama, Kannada, we have Kapila Muni, Yagnavalkya, Shandilya, Vishwanara. Prabhupada explains all this in the purport. He says these are all different great personalities who have their own philosophies, and they have given so much of knowledge. And then we have Vedvyasa, who is actually the compiler of the Vedanta Sutra. So, this whole bunch of knowledge that we have, so much of knowledge we have, there is no dearth of knowledge. India is so rich in knowledge, isn't it? That's why we are supposed to be the exporters of knowledge, right? India is supposed to export knowledge to the whole world. That is the greatest thing that we can ever give to anybody in the whole world, the spiritual knowledge, isn't it? That is our asset. Indian asset is the spiritual knowledge that we have. And so many great sages have actually contributed so much to the whole gamut of knowledge that we have. Now, in that, Krishna is saying here, Rajavidya. All these different rishis have given a lot of knowledge based on the Vedic perceptions and realizations that they have got. But now Krishna is saying, Rajavidya, I am going to give you that knowledge which is the king of all the knowledge. And it is Rajguhyam. It is very, very secret also. How is it secret? When Krishna is openly speaking and Bhagavad Gita is open to everyone, everybody reads Bhagavad Gita, so many people read Bhagavad Gita. It's an open secret. What is that open secret? The open secret, Prabhupada explains that to understand the difference between the matter and spirit is the most crucial thing in spiritual life. And that is why that's a big secret. How many people actually know or understand what is the spirit? Nobody has a department in the college to study the spirit soul. There are so many departments, big universities, MIT, Harvard, Oxford, many big universities are there, but they do not have any department for the study of the soul. The most crucial thing, they study the body and everything related to the body, which is one day going to perish, but they don't want to study about that which is imperishable, that is the soul. So unfortunate. That is why this is secret. You see, nobody has made an attempt to study the most important aspect of our life. That is why, although it is open secret, it is called a secret because people are not interested in knowing the self. So that is why Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam. And it does not end here. What is further explained in this? It is said it is the secret of secrets. Just see, it is secret of secrets. And it is the purest knowledge. And because it gives direct perception of the self by realization. So this knowledge, which is given in the 9th chapter, is the cream of the Bhagavad Gita. It's like you have a cake, and cake on top of that you have that icing. So something like that. You have this 9th chapter is like an icing, or probably the cherry on the icing. That kind of a cream of the knowledge it is, the 9th chapter. And it is the purest of the knowledge because he is going to reveal the secrets here. And why? It gives the direct perception of the self. So Bhagavad Gita is very practical because it is telling you who you are. By realization, perception of the self by realization. It is not simply theoretical. Oh, I am a spirit soul. I am not the body. This is theoretical. But to actually understand that I am the soul, that realization will come if we understand this 9th chapter properly and accept everything given in the 9th chapter properly. Just see, now if you understand that you are a spirit soul, how to understand and realize spirit soul is a secret. How many people in the world, they know how to realize the spirit soul? Nobody knows. And that is why Krishna is saying here, it is Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam. It is a secret of all the secrets. It is open, but nobody takes it. But if you take it, then this secret will be revealed to you and you will have realization of it. Atma Shakshatkara, self-realization. And it is the perfection of religion. Now, dharma is there. The perfection of dharma is to actually understand ourselves and our relationship with God. That is true dharma. And Prabhupada is saying it is everlasting and it is susukham. It is joyfully performed. The bhakti process is so interesting. Unlike the other kinds of tapasya and the methods and so many different paths are there for God realization, but bhakti is what is explained in this chapter 9. It is joyfully performed. Have nice prasadam, very delicious prasadam you can have. And there is such a nice kirtan, you can sing and dance, and then you can have nice philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, association of the devotees, sadhu sangha is there. So just sing, dance, have nice prasadam, chant Hare Krishna, and go back to home, back to God. It is so joyfully performed. There is no hard, fast rules only on Ekadashi. That also, Ekadashi means we are feasting these days. So much of feast is coming on Ekadashi also. Isn't it? Ekadashi in Maharashtra to duppat khashi they say. Is it not? Ekadashi means they'll be eating too much, double. So, there is so much of pleasure in Bhakti Yoga. That is why Bhakti Yoga is the topmost, very joyfully performed. Very, very special it is. So this we should understand. It is very, very special. So Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, let me move this up now. So here, Pavitram, it is pure. Pavitram, idam uttamam. Tama. Tama means it is ignorance. Uttama means it is beyond ignorance. Uttama. It is beyond darkness. Pratyaksha dharmyam. Pratyaksha. We have to understand these words properly. Pratyaksha. Aksha. Aksha means senses. Akshi also there. Akshi means eyes. Aksha. Aksha means all the senses that we have are called aksha. Prati aksha. Aksha means the Lord is present in every sense, all the senses that we have. That's why Lord's another name is Pratyaksha. Upanishads actually say this. Because the Lord is present in all the senses, his another name, the Lord's name is Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha avagamam means that which is required to realize that Pratyaksha, that sadhana that you're doing, is the process that you're following, is dharmyam. If you follow dharma, the medium are the senses, and through that medium, when you realize that Pratyaksha, the Supreme Lord, Pratyaksha avagamam dharmyam. Who is dharma, by the way? Dharyate iti dharmaha. Who is doing dharana? The Supreme Lord is the one who does dharana. Please understand. Everything is resting upon the Supreme Lord. So dharma actually rests upon the Supreme Lord. So pratyaksha dharmyam susukam kartum avyayam. There are many, many beautiful things Prabhupada has explained in this particular purport. Prabhupada has explained that how this is confidential knowledge because people are not educated about the self. And Bhagavad Gita, second chapter itself, Krishna started explaining about the science of the soul. Isn't it? Antavanta ime deha nityasyokta sharirinaha. So this body is imperishable. Krishna has already explained in the second chapter. So many things which are actually secrets, the topmost secret. Just for 2 seconds, close your eyes and just imagine and think deeply about this. Oh, I'm not this body, I am a spirit soul and I'm not going to die. Just think about it. That itself is confidential knowledge. Very, very special it is. Every time, every activity that you do, and that is for the satisfaction of the soul, then you will see, you will become so happy. You will become very, very happy and very, very active because the nature of the soul is active. We should not be worried about the body. Body will become old, it will become weak, and it will become inactive one day. But the soul is always active. Prabhupada says the nature of the soul is to always be active. So when you act on that platform, that spiritual platform of the soul, every activity when you do is as per Bhagavad Gita, you will remain active. Many people say, Prabhu, I'm very lazy. No, don't have to be lazy. How I should not be? How should I overcome my laziness? You start serving Krishna. By serving Krishna, that activeness will come automatically. When the soul is nurtured properly with Krishna conscious services, automatically the body will cooperate. Ultimately, the body is dependent on the soul. When the soul is joyful, then automatically you will see that it will be very, very happy. The body also will cooperate very nicely. This is to be understood very nicely. Okay, so not just that, here also Prabhupada is explaining further. Let me share another thing. So Prabhupada is telling in the purport here, in the 28th verse of the 7th chapter, a person who has completely ended the reactions of all sinful activities, who is fully engaged in the pious activities, being freed from the duality of this material world becomes engaged in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, completely free from dualities, free from sins. Padma Purana also Prabhupada is giving a quote: Aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bhijam falonmukham kramenaiva praliyate Vishnu bhakti ratatmana. So, for those who are engaged always in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all sinful reactions, whether fructified in the stalk or in the form of seed, gradually vanish. Just see, this is very, very special. Kutam bhijam falonmukam. So it is saying that every time when you perform any action, that action will give a seed. It will turn into a seed and sit in our consciousness. Whether it is a good deed or a bad deed, bad karma or good karma, it will sit as a seed. Bhijam. Then kutam, unfructified situation. Then falonmukha, fructified position. So that bhija of your karma, in whatever state it is, whether it is a bhija, it is sprouting, or it is already giving you fruits, that will all be destroyed if we are engaged in Vishnu Bhakti Ratatmanam. So why we always have this beautiful temples being built, why Prabhupada stressed on so much of temple construction also, this is one of the reason, because when there is a temple, then the devotees will come and they will get engaged in the service of the Lord. So when devotees come and they clean the temple, they do some arti, they do some khichdi distribution, or they do some paduka seva, all these different things when they do, they engage in the service of the Lord, then automatically their papa karma, everything is getting destroyed. This is practical. See, why now you can understand if somebody says that, okay, why temples are built? Instead of building temples, better to feed the poor people. Many people argue like that. Why should you build big, big temples? Instead, you help those people who are needy, give them food. Yes, if you give them food, you will feed them for a day or two, that's it. But then what will happen? You will get some pious activity, some good karma. But that good karma is of no use. It is not devotional activity. But when you actually make people come to the temple and then they do some service, then you see what is happening. All the reactions are getting burned. Bad karma, everything is getting vanished. This is the power of devotional service. People don't know the secrets. That is why. Why it is Krishna is saying secret of secrets? This is the reason. They don't understand the science behind having the deities, having the temple. All this is going to happen. For the people who visit the temple, so much of benefit is there. So then Prabhupada also further explains that how execution of devotional service is perfect when we engage in direct devotional service. And that direct devotional service for us in Kali Yuga is chanting the holy name. Chanting the holy name, how is it direct service? It is direct service because the holy name is non-different from Krishna. The sound vibration Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is non-different. So when you chant, the sound vibration of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is on your tongue. So that means you are coming in direct contact with Krishna. So wonderful it is. So that's it. Direct service. Sevan mukho jivadhav. You are serving the Lord by your tongue. Direct service. That is the best and the most perfect dharma, Yuga dharma, that is chanting the holy names. So just see, there are so many things coming up. This Rajaguhya, Rajavidya, Prabhupada is explaining so many things in this purport here. Prabhupada is also saying here in the Vedanta Sutra, it is described, Prakashascha karmani abhyasat. Devotional service is so potent that simply by engaging in the activities of devotional service, one becomes enlightened without a doubt. Again, Vedanta Sutra says this. If you are engaged in devotional service, then you will become illumined inside. You start glowing from inside because of knowledge, not because of any cosmetics. The devotees, they glow from within, not from without. We don't have to use any cosmetics. Our cosmetic is our devotional service. When you use actually perform devotional service, no need of any of these cosmetics. you will start glowing automatically. That is the power of devotional service, and that's the power of the spirit soul. So we have to clear all that dirt that is there. Then you will automatically become very vibrant, right? And then Prabhupada goes on to explain many things about association of devotees, how Narada became a great devotee just by associating with the Bhakti Vedantas. Prabhupada is explaining in the purport that how in the previous life Narada Muni was actually a son of a maid servant, and the mother of Narada Muni used to serve all the Bhakti Vedantas when they used to halt in one place during the Chaturmasya, rainy season. The sages used to assemble and gather in one place, and they used to do a lot of puja and everything, their regular spiritual activities. She was a maid servant, and she used to clean all those plates and everything, the leaves, everything after the prasadam. And she unfortunately died very quickly. Narada Muni continued to do the seva. Because of snake bite, the mother dies. So Narada Muni, just a 5-year-old boy, he was serving all these Bhakti Vedantas, and they used to leave some remnants in the leaves, banana leaves, they used to have some remnants, and he used to take the permission, can I eat? And they used to give permission, and then he used to eat all the remnants of the Bhakti Vedantas. Just by eating that prasada, he became purified. And then he used to also listen to all the different discussions, spiritual discussions they used to have. So by hearing and having the prasadam, so Narada Muni became such a great devotee. He went and did so much of tapasya. He had darshan of the Lord, and then next life he becomes Narada Muni. So Narada Muni explains that association of devotees is so wonderful. So when there is a proper structure, when we build all these different things in the society, especially the temples used to be the central hub for the society formation. The formation of the society used to happen from a temple. And when we talk about a temple, it is not just where the worship of the deity is happening, but in fact the whole place used to grow spiritually and materially. Spiritually, because the Lord is personally present. Economically also, there used to be a lot of things growing up in that region. Now if you go to Jagannath Puri, Vrindavan, Mathura, so many tirtha stalas are there. How do you think the economy is running there? If you go to Jagannath Puri, the only source of economy is all that is running because of the Lord Jagannatha there. People across the world, they come, and that is how the whole city is maintained. Vrindavan, Mathura, all the Tirtha Stalas, you see, we don't understand this spiritual economics. So there are a lot of things involved. When there is a temple, lot of other benefits happen to the people around. The society grows automatically. So this was our culture. Everything centered around Krishna. Everything centered around the Supreme Lord. This is how we should build the society. So this is the need. This is the need of the time. Actually, this is a very, very important thing that we should do. Get more and more people, preach to them about Krishna consciousness. The more the people take up to Krishna consciousness, the society will become very peaceful automatically. And it is possible. It is very much possible. So, pratyaksha also means direct perception. Pratyaksha pramana we say, right? Pratyaksha. So, direct perception. But we also understood pratyaksha also refers to one of the name of the Supreme Lord. Then, now, this particular susukham kartum avyayam, it is sukham, very, very pleasurable. So, the real pleasure is in the spiritual world. Independently, we cannot enjoy. The real pleasure is in the spiritual world. Now, the secret of all the activities of the soul in the spiritual world, what a spirit soul is supposed to do in the spiritual world, is a secret. That is revealed in this particular chapter. That's why it's secret. We all have a specific duty, we have a specific activity to be done in the spiritual world, because we are from the spiritual world, we are not from this material world. Now we have forgotten that. But when we understand, oh, this is my activity there in the spiritual world, that is a secret. So, this ninth chapter will explain to us the activities of the spirit soul in the spiritual world. That activity is actually a secret. So, that is why it is Rajavidya, Rajagvijam. It is giving you knowledge of that activity in the spiritual world. At the same time, it is a secret because not everybody will accept it, although it is an open secret. So that way, there are many things Krishna is going to explain in the chapter 2, and in fact, chapter 9. And I think we need to continue this. We need to continue this verse a little bit more next time also, and then take up the next third verse, because there are so many things to discuss. But because of lack of time, we may not be able to cover this whole completely. So Dev has said, Aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bijam phalonmukam karmeneva praliyeta Vishnu bhakti ratatmam. Yes, exactly. So this is very, very special verse. So our destruction of all the karma, papa karma, will happen just by devotional service. Very, very important. Nothing more is required in Kali Yuga. How much can we actually do tapasya? Not possible. That's why Prabhupada has simplified for all of us. You're all Kali Yuga products. You better just chant nicely and have prasadam, associate with the devotees, listen to Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavad Gita. That's it. Simple. Being with the family, being with all the different responsibilities that we have. This is the easiest way. There cannot be anything easy, more easy than this now. So this we should never be disheartened. When we get this knowledge, no matter how big the problem is in our life, everybody has to face some problems. But that will become very puny when we understand this knowledge. When you know uh, your activities are based on the spirit level, then nothing, no problem in this world can disturb us. That is at least one thing guaranteed. Devotees will never go under depressions. No matter how difficult situations will come in their life, they will never get into depression. They don't have to visit any psychiatrist, because we have the best of the psychiatrist, and that is Krishna. So when you actually read Bhagavad Gita, you will become joyful internally. So even if the problems comes, disturbances come in life, we are not so much disturbed by them. We don't get into depression, unlike many people today who go into depressions. So this is the advantage of practicing Krishna consciousness. Very, very special it is. Right. So you have any questions, any doubts, anything that you want to ask?
Prabhuji,
I have got only one question.
Ah, yes, Vinodji, please go ahead.
Yeah, yes. So I just want to understand, because
Prabhuji, I
what
think I was
the other
speaking.
community.
Dev.
Yeah, I think no, Vinodji is also speaking. I can hear him.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, Vinodji, go ahead.
Okay, so the other communities now, they are, I think, very much united. So I don't know whether we as a team, as Krishna followers, are we united across India, across the world? Like within minutes, the other community gets together, their act, and they're together. So are we also united in some way, this way, by email or by phone numbers or something like that? Just wanted to understand.
Uh, yeah, you mean to say united in sense like
For
like all of
example,
us, or
अभी नहीं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अभी कहीं पे कोई भक्तों को मारा गया था, तो हमारे पास ऐसा कुछ एक सेंट्रल सिस्टम होना चाहिए कि वी आर ऑल यूनाइटेड टुगेदर, वी सपोर्ट ईच अदर इन इन in also
yes, yes,
physically, also spiritually, also mentally, in all ways. Yeah.
yes, yes. I got your point. Actually, there is what happens is there is something called as GBC, Governing Body Commission for ISKCON. So generally, from that GBC, the decisions are taken, and we try to sort out the problems wherever there are some incidents like this where the devotees are attacked and they have been hurt. So again, all that happens in a very legal way, because we cannot take to the path of violence, unlike others. So we have to do it very systematically. And yes, there are systems to take care of it also. So there are devotees, there are different members of within the society who address some problems like this, and we also tend to support the devotees who undergo such tribulations sometimes. So these things, again, when it comes to such attacks, we have to go through the local governments there. A lot of things will get involved, but we try to do our best trying to help the devotees. We know sometimes the government helps, sometimes it doesn't. So we as a community, we try to help the devotees and try to protect them as much as possible. uh, so that is, yes, definitely done. That is definitely done. There are devotees who take care of all these things. So there is a governing body commission who actually decides on all these different things across the world.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Yes, Dave, you were also asking something.
Yes, Prabhuji. So in the fifth chapter, when Krishna says, Pandita Samadarshana, so
Hmm.
how, like, again, now there are people where they are not devotees, they are following another path completely, and we must try to not associate with them, of course, because bad association is bad for us. But in, so it is like a dual this, that I cannot see them as equal, because they are actually, there are people who are harming our Sanatan Dharma as well. But there are in where Krishna says Pandita Samadarshana, I don't understand how to see them at that same equal platform.
There is equality only on the spiritual level, spirit level. There is no equality in the material level. I'll tell you what happens is, everyone is a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna, whether they know it or they don't know it. But the reality is that everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. But due to their karma, the previous karma, they are born in a certain sections of society and they adopt to a certain path. So because of that, they get into these problems and they try to create a lot of nuisance and disturbance in the society because of the culture that they are born and brought up in. So that is the influence of the culture that they are born and brought up into. So now what happens? What are we supposed to do? How can we actually deal with these people? First thing is, we should be very clear. They are definitely part and parcel of Krishna. But at the material level, we have to give justice. That's why a king, just imagine in the olden days when somebody is a murderer or is a thief, the king has to punish. Oh, now I'll become Panditaha Samadarshana. If the king says like that, then he'll not be able to punish. Oh, he's also spirit soul. How can I punish him? If the king says like that, then that fellow will go and create more nuisance in the society. So that's why there is Sama, Dama, Danda, Veda. Danda is also one part of giving danda, giving punishment is also dharma. When somebody is creating problems and atrocities, he is performing some atrocities to the society, giving punishment to such person is also a dharma. So now, if there is, we come across such people, atrocious people, then first thing I should see whether it is in my circle of influence to give him punishment. If not, at least I can inform someone who can actually give him punishment. If I try to give punishment, if I am not authorized to do so, then that bad karma will come on us. But if it is if you are authorized, then you are supposed to give him that punishment. But if you're not authorized, but you can definitely go and inform the concerned person and then he will take action. So that we should do. That is our dharma, to keep informed the superiors about all these problems. So that is how we deal with these people. We see them as spirit souls, but when they do wrong things, it is, if it is in our capacity to correct them, we should correct them. If it is not in our capacity, then we should actually inform the person who is actually can punish them. So that is very, very important. Punishment is definitely a part of dharma. So how do I avoid them? One thing is, avoid if it is very far kind of a distant relatives or distant no connection, then we can just avoid them. But day to day, like your friends will be there sometimes in colleges. You see all these people, they are doing so many wrong things, and but still you have to interact with them, associate with them sometimes. So at a Vyavharik level, we deal with them, but we associate only in terms of that Vyavaharik dealings. Some notes have to be taken. Some, as a college student, I need to interact, something related to the educational related thing I need to interact. Only that much. So that is our association with them. But otherwise, we don't associate thickly with them. Very, very minimal, very, very minimal, very Vyavaharik. So that is how we keep distance with these people. But when you talk about what do we do if they are doing something wrong, if it is in your capacity, you should act immediately. If you're authorized to take some action, if you are given that it's in your circle of influence, then you should definitely act and you should punish such people. But if it is not, then you should inform others. We should not take upon ourselves. That is important.
Right. Thank
Prabhuji,
you.
I had a question.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I wanted to know from the our all our Vedas and all the knowledge that we have from the scriptures, how can we identify who are the asuras? Because they are also part and parcel of Krishna only.
Yes.
So were the concept of asuras created to have a balance on this planet Earth, so that the goodness, all the duality that we have, were the asuras created from that perspective? So the asuras will always be there in every yuga. It's just a matter of how much and how less.
Yes. Actually, first we should know what is an asura. When we say asura, what is asura? Asura means one who is envious of Krishna is asura. Sura is one who is not envious. Like the Devatas, they are suras. They are not envious of Krishna. To some extent, not completely. Even Devatas also, all of us in that case, we are asuras. Why? We were in spiritual world, but we became envious of Krishna. Then that is how we came down to this material world, right? Now, in moment we are envious of Krishna, we are asuras. Now the proportion to the degree to which we exhibit that asuric qualities varies. Now, when we say devatas, everybody is in this material world, including us. We are in this material world. We are to some degree, very minute degree, we are also asuras. Why? Because we have rejected Krishna, and that's why we are in this material world. But when we talk about asuras like Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, and all these people, great, great demons were there. Those people are also part and parcel, but they exhibit that asuric quality to a greater extent. They openly challenge the Supreme Lord's position as Supreme. They challenge. There are what to speak about these asuras. Even in this Kali Yuga, there are so many people. They openly challenge. Oh, what is this Krishna? He's just he's a makanchi, he's a thief. They give him so many bad names. Like Asuric people are there even now. Like Shishupala. Even in the presence of Krishna, he was blaspheming Krishna so much. So many people, even now, there are like Shishupala, they blaspheme Krishna. Asuric qualities. So, what is an Asura and Sura? It is the consciousness. Everybody is a part and parcel of Krishna, but the consciousness varies. So, from Sura to Asura, there are a lot of variations, degrees of Asuric qualities that are exhibited by a spirit soul, individual spirit soul. So somebody is very, very sattvic and his Sura is always like Arjuna, he's non-envious, Anasuya. He's Sura completely, he's not an Asura, he's a complete devotee of the Lord. But there are some other categories of people who are little envious. And then there are more envious. And the greatest envious is called Asura. Always he's constantly thinking of fighting with Krishna and the devotees. So those are Asuras. So spirit soul, we are all spirit soul, but to the degree to which we exhibit, then we call them as Asuras. The highest the degree, the greater Asuric person is. That is how it is. So
Thank
it's
you,
not
Prabhuji.
it is not a concept. By the way, you said it's not a concept. It is not a concept. It is the consciousness of the individual living entity of every Atma. Each one of us, who knows, in the previous lives, we may also have been an Asura to the greater extent. But then we somehow, by the mercy of the devotees and sages and all, we may have come to this extent today that we have reduced our Asuric qualities and now we are surrendering to Krishna back again.
So,
So
Prabhuji,
we
that means that all of us who are on this planet Earth, this material world, would have been to some extent Asuric only.
Asuri,
Else
every
we wouldn't be here in the first place.
exactly the reason we are in this material world is because of that Asuric nature only. Everybody, including Brahma, including Indra. You see, Indra also, although he's a great this thing, but he performed some activity. He said, "No, no, I'm going Samartaka. I'll send Samartaka. I'll destroy Vrindavan." You know that Asuric bhava came right in him also. So like that, there are a lot of you see such a great nice person. Even Karna was, but Asuric bhava was there inside him. He was following dharma, everything, but still Asuric bhava was there. So each one of us, every living entity in this material world, has fallen down because of that Asuric nature. But now we have to regain our pure consciousness and go back to Supreme Krishna, Supreme Lord Krishna. That is our idea. That is our idea.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. So I invite all of you to come sometimes to our temple here and visit whenever you feel you're free. You should visit sometime and have darshan of the Lord. And it was my plan to come to Mumbai this May, but because of this temple inauguration, I could not. So hopefully July or August, I'll try to come sometime and meet all of you. So that is one thing. And how many of you could see the live darshan on 13th and 14th? On the live darshan was there for Raja. A lot of beautiful ceremonies are happening every morning and evening now also. The Mandal Puja that is going on now is actually to increase the Chaitanya in the deities. The more this goes on, the chanting of the Vedic mantras, the Abhishekams and all these things, the supreme consciousness within the deities will start manifesting. That's why this Mandal Puja is being done. So, very, very beautiful procedures have been done to invite the Lord in the deity form. All the Vedic rituals were performed as per the Vedic scriptures. Very, very nice things have happened. So, next time when you please come, you please fortunately come and have darshan of the Supreme Lord here. And Achyutanji said, yes, he was fortunate to witness the darshan on that day. There are many events that will come up now, so you can keep watching. I'll send the live darshan this thing also. Sometimes when the special events are happening, I'll send you the live link. All right, then. Thank you so much for joining, and hopefully, again next Sunday we will meet because there are a lot of things happening on weekends. So, but we will definitely try to continue our Bhagavad Gita study. And also, the last 15 minutes, I said that we will discuss some other topics. That also we will try to continue from the next Sunday. Until then, please take care, all of you, Achyutanji, Hina Mataji, Vinodji, Dev, and Uma Kamar also who had joined on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you again very soon. Until then, please take care. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
uh,
Yes, Dev.
what about Vrindavan? We are going to go in the Kartik month you were planning.
Ah, yes. Thanks for reminding me that. So, by next month, I'll confirm. I'll confirm. Based on my services here, I'll let you know because it's been a lot of new things are coming up, new expansions are happening here. So I'll just check my this thing and definitely let you know well in advance so that you can book your tickets and everything well in advance.
Yes, thank you,
Right?
Prabhuji.
Yeah, sure. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinodji. Hare Krishna.